There's going to be 2 or 3 questions on the discriminant, and we should know, let me move this to the side, just give a quick explanation of what the discriminant is. The discriminant is in the quadratic formula. The discriminant is the value inside the square root, not including the square root. It's just the b squared minus 4ac. Okay, so there's going to be 2 or 3 questions that they just ask you, if this is your equation, find the discriminant. So you're only going to be doing the b squared minus 4ac. Now, and they might also ask you, well, let me just show you a question. Number 17, state the discriminant, then determine the real solutions, the number of real solutions. So once again, before even determining the discriminant, you need to have it in standard form so you could identify the A, the B, and the C. And in this case, as you could see, the 15 needs to be moved over. You need to have the equation set equal to 0. So your new equation is really 4x squared plus 7x minus 15 equals 0. And now you could identify your A value of 4, your B value of 7, and your C value of negative 15. Now the discriminant is simply the B squared minus 4 times A times C. So the B squared, that's really 7 squared minus 4 times A, which is 4, times C, which is negative 15. And of course you could do all this with the calculator. If you type it in exactly the way it is, you'll be able to get the final answer with just the calculator. So parenthesis 7, close parenthesis, squared, minus 4, parenthesis, 4, close parenthesis, open parenthesis, negative 15, close parenthesis, equal, it says 289. So with the calculator, it's 289. Of course, you didn't have to use a calculator. You could have worked it out. 7 times 7 is 49, 4 times 4 is 16, multiplied by 15, and then you could subtract or add those values and you will get 289. So use a calculator, it's faster, it's more accurate. That is your discriminant. So that's part of the answer, and in addition to that, they ask you if you're going to have how many real solutions. Does it have 0 real solutions, 1 real solution, or 2 real solutions? 2. Now the reason that is because if you did have a positive 289 in here, as a matter of fact, if you had any positive number in here, when you take the square root of that positive number, even though it's an ugly number, it could end up being an ugly decimal, but nevertheless, when you add that number, it'll give you a new number, and when you subtract that same number, it'll give you a different number. So it really does produce 2 different answers when your discriminant is a positive number. So right here, the answer is that the discriminant is 289, and you end up with 2 real solutions. Let's try another. Once again, they want us to find the discriminant of this guy, and you can't even do that until you get 0 on the right side of the equal sign. So let's, whoops. So we're going to add 30. Add 30. We're going to rewrite this thing, 2x squared plus 15x plus 30 equals 0. Now you could identify your A value of 2, your B value of 15, and your C value of 30. Let's go for the discriminant, just the b squared minus 4 times a times c, and see what happens. The b value is 15, the a value is 2, the c value is 30. So with the calculator, if you go 15 squared, or you could go 15 times 15, you get 225. And with the calculator, go 4 times 2 times 30, and you'll get 240. So when you take away 225, take away 240, you end up with a negative 15. So negative 15 is your discriminant. And if you did have the negative 15 inside a square root, when you took that square root, it would give you an imaginary answer, not real answers. So knowing that it's negative inside the square root, you don't get any real answers, so you say no real solutions. Or you could say 0 real solutions. Let's move on to the last one. Once again, let's set it equal to 0 first. So go plus 9, plus 9. New quadratic equation will be 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 equals 0. Now you could identify your A value of 4, your B value of negative 12, and your C value of 9. When you use the discriminant b squared minus 4 times A times C, and you calculate it, we're plugging in the value of negative 12 for B, A value of 4, the C value of 9. So negative 12 squared, that's 144. If we go 4 times 4, that's 16, and 16 times 9 on a calculator is 144. So we really have 144 minus 144, which is 0. So our discriminant is 0, which means that we have only one real solution. Only one real solution. Now again, how do I know it's only one real solution? Because if my discriminant value is 0, when I take the square root of 0, it's still 0. And it doesn't matter what number I have. If I add 0 or if I subtract 0, it's going to be the same exact number. In other words, adding or subtracting 0 does not produce two different answers. It's only one real answer. And that's about it, guys. Once again, I've explained on different videos. I've grouped all the different topics. This one right here was the discriminant, and also, and on the previous slide, we just did the elimination and substitution method of solving systems. So those are small sections, but there's bigger sections that you guys should worry about for the final exam.